Hello, loves, and welcome to the Expansion Playbook audio guide. Now, clearly this is an audio, but also a video guide, but I did originally think of this idea as something that you could listen to and grab, go into your car, go out for a walk, and really digest this while you're on the go. But whether or not you're watching this as a video or an audio, I'm excited that you're here. Now, you didn't download this playbook by accident. You are a visionary, a leader, a woman who is done with scaling in all the ways that drain you, and you are ready for a smarter, more expansive path. I know that because you are the kind of woman that I work with inside my community and I see every single day. Now, this playbook isn't about doing more. Let's be really clear. It's about doing what actually moves the needle in your business so you can work less, earn more, and expand in ways that support your life and don't totally consume it. Now, I will just preface this to say that this playbook largely focuses on strategic growth levers. And it's important to remember that reaching our goals not only takes a strategy, but takes a lot of work on our energetics and mindset. We are going to walk through this playbook together step by step so you can not only read the strategy, but actually embody it. That's the process of actually seeing how you feel when I read through each step. Now feel what comes up and listen to your body and your mind telling you what might feel heavy or what might actually feel light, because these are the actual indicators of where your strengths or where the gaps or challenges actually lie. So grab your favorite notebook, grab a pen, get comfy, and if you're walking or driving, then obviously just listen in and let's dive in. So growth lever number one, this is all about your CEO energy and leading with clarity and alignment. I want to start with a really simple but powerful question. I want you to ask yourself, are you running your business? Are you in control every day, or is your business running you? Because when you're stuck in the day-to-day grind, constantly responding, reacting quite often, and doing everything, you're operating as an overworked entrepreneur and not a CEO. And the shift here is simple. Your business will only expand at the speed of your own clarity. Think about that. Now, if you are scattered and you are stretched thin, saying yes to every single thing for fear of missing out, you're not making CEO level decisions. You're probably surviving. But when you step into your CEO energy, you get super intentional. You create space to make decisions instead of really rushing them. You define what success actually looks like just to you instead of chasing what everybody else is doing and having shiny object syndrome. You stop overcommitting your time and start protecting your energy like the most valuable asset in your business, which it is. So with this step, what I want you to do is I want you to write down a few things. I want you to write down 3 non-negotiables for how you want to feel when scaling your business. Maybe it's working 3 or 4 days a week. Maybe it's keeping your mornings open for a workout instead of diving in client work as soon as you drop the kids off. Or maybe it's saying no to anything that doesn't feel aligned with your long-term vision. Write down 3 non-negotiables to really step into this CEO energy of clarity and alignment. Now, one of my clients used to take every single opportunity that came her way. There was guest speaking, there was collaborating, there was offers that didn't really even fit what she did and weren't really in her zone of genius. But she was busy all the time. However, she wasn't growing in the way that she wanted. When we worked together and we really refined what this CEO energy looked like, she made one simple change. And we created a decision filter where she said only yes to the things that felt really aligned with her long-term vision. Now, within months, her revenue began to grow, her time opened up, and finally she felt in control of her business again. These are the kind of shifts that you can make relatively quickly when you really step into this CEO mind. Growth lever number 2. Now, your business model optimization. Now, this is really about scaling with sustainability so that this is for the long term. Now, I want you to be real with yourself for a minute. Think about your products and your services and ask yourself the question as to whether or not you are offering too much. Almost every business that I jump into as a mentor, I see women doing too much. They have their fingers in every single pie. And they say to me, I feel like I'm constantly working, but I'm not making the money I should. So when we look at their business model, I realize something is really clear. They are spreading themselves way too thin across all their offers and their products. They do custom work that takes way too much time. They do one-off projects that aren't leading to anything. They're saying yes to opportunities that kind of fit, but then really are not scalable. And the shift here, it's about simplifying to scaling. So think about this. What if instead of juggling 5 different services, you focus on one scalable offer? Or what about instead of working harder to make more, you refined your pricing? So many times we look at my clients' pricing, and there are so many tweaks that we can make in areas and places where we can position your business to grow with less effort. So in this growth lever, I want you to look at this action step, which is look at which one of your offers or your services feel heavy and require the most amount of time for the least return. The other area I want you to look at which ones feel most expansive and have the highest impact. Growth lever number 3. This is all about time liberation. And you may have already heard about this, the 80-20 scaling method. Now, I want you to imagine your calendar for a second, and I want you to ask yourself, how much on there is actually moving the needle? So there is usually one thing that we see. Not all tasks are created equal. Some tasks generate a massive amount of momentum, and others just keep you busy. So the 80-20 rule says that 80% of your results come from 20% of your actions. That means if you double down on the right 20%, you'd actually grow faster while doing less. So it's important here as an action to really audit your tasks that you're doing during the week. So keep a note or look at the end of the week and think about the high impact activities that actually lead to results. Where have you maybe signed a new client, or where have you ended up in your DMs having conversations with people? Where have you generated leads? Where have you earned your income from? And what are the low impact tasks that drain your energy but don't grow your business? So growth lever number 4 is all about systems and automation. It never used to be, my friend, but it absolutely is now, because you can really let tech and processes do a lot of the work for you behind the scenes and when you're not actually sitting at your desk. So this is an area that I see a lot of entrepreneurs resist, but you absolutely need. And this is the systems. So I get it. When you start your business, you probably did everything yourself. You may be doing the large majority of things yourself still. You answered every email. You manually scheduled every client call. You onboarded new customers with a copy and paste process. But here's the thing. You can't scale a business if you're constantly stuck in admin tasks. And so when I work with women who feel like they're drowning in their businesses, 90% of the time, the problem isn't that they need to work harder, it's that they need better systems. So what this means is that really a system is just a simple, repeatable way of getting something done efficiently. So if you repeat a task, this is usually what I say, if you repeat a task more than 3 times, it should have a system. And if you spend more time organizing your business than actually running it, you need automation. So in this lever, I want you to think of the next action steps if you felt like this is an area for your growth. I want you to think about the number one thing in your business that drains your time every single week. Is it client onboarding? Is it scheduling? Is it content creation? There are processes that we could create off the back of all of these areas that will save you time, that will bring back time. I have helped clients find 3, 4, 5 hours a week in their schedule by actually automating and scheduling some of these things and using systems. It doesn't always require outsourcing and a team, but this is game changing, because if you find 3, 4, 5 hours a week, that can be up to 20 hours a month. That is your time that you're working so hard for. So that's what systems do. They give you back your time while keeping your business running smoothly. Now, growth lever number 5, it's all about magnetic visibility. And I really want you to think about how you can attract clients into your world and not be chasing them down. Now, again, I know this is an area where not every entrepreneur adores. Marketing can feel exhausting, but it often feels exhausting when you're doing it wrong, or maybe when you might be the bottleneck in the system. And so many entrepreneurs that I see are caught in this cycle of posting everywhere without a real strategy. They're burning out because they think that they have to be on all the time, and feeling like their dream clients just are not seeing them. They put posts out there, and they put content out there, they record podcasts, they do all the things, they're in all the places, but they just feel like they're just not getting the traction. People are not getting in touch. And if that's you, I need you to hear this. You don't have to be everywhere. You just have to be magnetic where it matters. And so sometimes what that magnetism involves is maybe more belief in yourself. Sometimes that involves your messaging. Sometimes that involves how you're communicating your messaging into your content. But at the end of the day, instead of throwing content at the wall, instead of throwing anything that you're creating and just hoping that it sticks, you need a visibility strategy that works for you. So if you love speaking, you double down on guest interviews and workshops. If you thrive when you're writing, then it's all about email marketing and maybe LinkedIn articles. And if you love short form video, committing to Reels and YouTube Shorts and making sure that you're repurposing that content in a number of different areas is your sweet spot. So I want you to do this within this action step. I want you to pick one primary marketing channel and commit to it for 90 days. So instead of spreading yourself thin and across all of the different channels, I want you to focus on one platform until it starts to work. So we're creating really intentional, high value content that actually connects with your audience. And when I work with clients, we can see pretty quickly where the gaps might be. And it's hard to see this in your own business, but I can see very clearly if it's a messaging issue, if it's a belief issue, if it's some other issue that lies within your marketing strategy or lack thereof. Growth lever number 6, soul aligned sales. So I want you to really start to think about selling in a way that feels good and actually converts. So again, I know it's an area that not everybody loves, but sales is a necessary evil. I don't call it evil because I actually really enjoy it. But I've come through my career through sales channels, so it is actually a part of me, but I know that that's not the case for everybody. I know that for a lot of women, it still feels icky, like you're trying to convince people to buy from you. But the truth is that selling isn't about convincing, it's about alignment. So what this actually means is that when you truly believe in what you offer, selling stops feeling like a chore and starts feeling like a service. So when I was talking about growth lever number 5 and the marketing, sometimes it's that belief aspect, which is an energetic thing and something that we work on. But if you don't believe in what you're actually selling, then it's going to feel like a chore. So I want you to imagine your offer is the solution to someone's biggest problems. And it is. Imagine they are looking for you, just for you. But if you don't sell them your products or services, they're not going to find you. So instead of saying, how do I sell more? I want you to ask yourself, how can I make it easy for the right people to say yes? And how can I build trust so that they can already feel connected before we even talk? So many of my clients come from places in my content and places in my community where I already know them, where I have met them. I've been on community calls with them. I've connected with them in some other place. The odd one comes in and I have no idea where they've come from. So the more someone trusts you and the more someone feels connected to you, the more likely they're going to want to work with you. And the last growth lever, number 7, is all about scalable support and building the right team and community around you. So I want to really wrap this up with one of the most important shifts for long-term expansion. You don't have to do this alone. Now, there's a lot of talk of this in the coaching world because people want you to buy their services. But as an entrepreneur, I can hand on heart say, if you are trying to do this alone, it is a really hard struggle. If you've been running your business solo up to now, I totally get it. It's your baby. You're hanging on to it. You think, well, if I'm going to invest in that coach or I'm going to invest in team, and that's profit off my bottom line. If you are in your expansion season, and if you're here watching and listening to this, then you are ready to scale your business. And it is time to actually let go of some of that control, because I know you know every moving piece, but at some point, actually scaling means bringing in the right support. No CEO, no big business out in the marketplace scales or grows to any size with a one-person game. And so what this actually means, maybe it's hiring a VA or taking some admin work off your plate. I know many people start there. Maybe it's joining a high-level mastermind or having a mentor to really surround you with women who expand your thinking. Maybe it's outsourcing tech or social media or client support. I am all one for growing really, really lean businesses. I have a super lean business, and I have had a time when I've had a much bigger business, and I'm more profitable now that I have worked out a really lean team. And there's lots of different, parts that go with that. But at the end of the day, every business needs hands support. So that's the people that are going to help you do the work and that are going to get into the areas that are not in your zone of genius. And then there's heart and head support. And that's your mentors. That's someone like me. That's somebody who is going to help lift you, help brainstorm with you, who's going to help you see the wood from the trees, who's going to help you get strategic and take that 50-foot view and say, yes, but what about this? Who's going to challenge you, who's going to push you. That head and heart support is absolutely integral. It's like a leadership team having a CEO. So if you are a solopreneur up to now, or maybe you have a VA or a couple of different people, having somebody who really has a vested interest in your business. That's why sometimes I used to call myself a consultant, because I'm alongside my clients in mentorship, whether it's private or group mentorship, and I have such a vested interest in my clients. I would actually say that I'm a little bit the same even in my membership. I really want everybody to succeed, and I really have a vested interest in really seeing their growth. So ask yourself this, and I want you to write this down. Write down one thing that you shouldn't be doing anymore. And then ask yourself, who could I hire? What could I automate? And how can I delegate this? This is an area that's going to help you really get your hands out of the weeds and really help you step into your CEO role. Now, that is it for the 7 growth levers. I really encourage you to have a listen back, go and look at the actual document, step yourself through and go through that process of seeing what feels heavy and seeing what feels light. You can't do it all at once. So you're really going to have to pick 1 or 2 of these growth levers. This is usually what I do with my clients. We dive into a couple of key areas initially. And often I would say pick the ones that are going to have, the biggest bang for your buck, are going to be the areas like the low-hanging fruit that you're going to go, yep, I know I can really pull some things together there, and I can tighten these processes and I can automate that. And you really kind of start to get some momentum. The shifts can be fast. They don't have to take months and months and months and months. Sure, our businesses can take a long time to grow, or, are not happening overnight, but the shifts can be fast. And so I would also say lean into the areas that are going to help you shift sales, shift lead generation, shift converting. So you're given some really quick proof that these are the things that are actually going to move the needle in your business. So as you will find in the emails as well as in the playbook, I do offer a strategy call if you would like to jump on a call to talk about how this can work in your business, which levers you should dial into. You can pick my brain. It is not a sales call. If you are interested in investing, then amazing. We can get to know each other. We can see whether or not we're an actual fit, and we can talk about next steps. Like I said, I have, from a mentorship point of view, I have group programs and I have private mentorship, and it really does depend on where you're at in your business and what your goals are at the end of the day. So I hope that you found that super valuable. I've put a lot of effort into this playbook because I didn't want it to just be airy-fairy. I wanted it to have a lot of substance and things that you can actually dive into, that I know that I do with my clients on a daily basis, that at a high level you can say, yep, this is an area that I want to dive into, and you can sink your teeth in and really move the dial in your business.